For one final time in the regular season of 2025, the Tampa Spartans take the field ahead of postseason action as two teams, playoff bound in two different conferences, are set to go toe-to-toe to finish off the regular season with your Tampa Spartans hosting Flagler College. Welcome into the broadcast booth here at Pepin Stadium. Josh Sperber alongside my broadcast partners Taylor Stolworthy in the final game of the 2025 regular season. Spartans are 3-3. All three decisions in this game, either a win or a loss in the 6 games they have played against Flagler. Flagler's won each of the last 3 games, and Tampa enters today locked into the 7th seed. What is, I guess, at stake for Tampa now that they're not playing to secure a postseason spot?
You know, you take a look, and maybe the regional record could be what you're looking at, a chance at one of the bubble spots in the tournament should the Spartans not go the distance. Tampa will be facing Eckerd to start postseason play. A win against the Tritons could do wonders for the Spartans, especially if they can get a nice postseason run. And I actually like Tampa as a tournament team because they play very defensive. They've kept a lot of clean sheets. And while they've struggled to get on the scoreboard, all you need to do come playoff times is force penalties. So getting a win against Flagler in region play might be able to push the envelope one step further if they get a win in the tournament to maybe get an at-large bid should they not get the automatic bye. Because getting a chance to play in the playoffs is definitely a goal for the Spartans. And unlike for our men's team, who unfortunately lost on the final day to eliminate themselves from conference play and national tournament play, there is a shot, a long shot, but one that is still in sight for the Spartans. But first, they're going to need to get back on the scoreboard.
You're absolutely right, Taylor, and that is, well, the next thing I was going to say anyways. Not since October 11th have the Tampa Spartans put a goal in net, and they still have not had a bad run of play, just a whole bunch of draws in the months of October and in the beginning of November, including a 0-0 tie against St. Leo in the last time out. But it does mean that Tampa has not won a game since that 2-1 victory over Florida Tech.
That's an important thing to note as well. Should Tampa get the upset over Eckerd in the first round, Florida Tech's the 3 seed for the upcoming SSC tournament. So it would be a Tampa road trip against the team they had their last win against, most likely, if they escape the first round. So it is positive signs for the Spartans, and this out-of-conference game for Tampa is a chance to build some momentum for postseason play.
And to do that, they'll take on the Flagler Saints, with both teams running a 4-3-3. It'll be Flagler who takes the opening kick at the center circle, and they bomb it down the field and kick it right out of bounds. Flagler Saints come into the game with a 4-3-3, and in front of their goaltender, Phoebe Carpenter, freshman out of Lyman Memorial High School in Connecticut. They start Grace Simon, Ariana Silva, and Ella Gambicki on defense to go along with Brooke Reinecker, Presley Anchetta. Hannah Hughes is a forward, Haley Stafford, Paige Churchill, and Carrie Consolino to go along with Michaela Lambert and Ella Gambicki for Flagler's starting 11. And it'll be a throw-in for Gambicki in front of the press box on the near side of the field. Tampa, a 4-3-3 as well. Leah Duhan in goal with the fullbacks, Lily Nava on the right side, and on the left side, Jess Brannon, Kendo Gooner, Lauren Holschauer resuming their partnership at center back. It looks like the right winger is going to be Brooke Kittner. She may be switching sides with Jalen Haas, who is left wing, to start this game. The striker, Tara McDonald. 3 midfielders. Allie Wold will be playing furthest forward, Sydney Dennis furthest back, and Brielle Johnson in the center of the park in Tampa's 4-3-3. Definitely a different lineup than we saw last weekend against St. Leo.
Yeah, Tampa electing to move Whitten to the bench. She'll definitely get some playing time unless she is injured in this matchup, but maybe with a more aggressive attacking look here. Again, this is an out-of-conference game for the Spartans, so it's not necessarily going to impact tournament play. And I did mention, winning it would help their in-region record, but obviously the big games are going to be the ones coming up on November 10th. Tampa's upcoming trip against the Tritons to start the conference tournament. So they have a little more room to maybe try to get a bit more aggressive with this attacking system. Sydney Dennis does a great job as the number 6, but she is going to be more offensively minded than Whitten, who has recently been patrolling that role, because for such a long time, Dennis has been the top scorer and one of the top creators on offense for Tampa.
Yeah, and Whitten definitely plays like a more traditional 6, whereas Sydney Dennis can really play anywhere on the pitch, maybe even drop back to defense if needed with her athleticism. Ball has been passed around in the middle of the field for much of the play. Haven't seen much in the attacking thirds. This one bounced out of bounds by Flagler as Lily Nava, the sophomore transfer from a Division I UCF, making the throw-in.
Keep an eye out for, sorry to interrupt there, but keep an eye out for Churchill and Consolino on the attack for the Saints. They're the top goal scorers with 15 goals combined. And kind of interesting to see, you've got Consolino leading the line, but on that right wing is where Paige Churchill likes to sit around, and Churchill actually has one more goal than Consolino.
And we've seen many a winger with an aptitude for goal scoring, but that 4-3-3, the striker and the wingers flanking her on either side, will certainly be key in this matchup. And we talked about the playoff tilt that Tampa has against Eckerd coming up. That will be in Eckerd with a time yet to be determined on Monday, November 10th, the Sunshine State Conference quarterfinals, as we get ready for some playoff action. Tampa getting the ball towards the 18-yard box. It goes out of bounds. Looks like it hit off of a red jersey. So we'll have our very first corner kick. It'll be the Spartans taking the first corner of the game. They're wearing their home whites, black sleeves, red numbers, no names on the back with black outline and white shorts. Red jerseys and shorts for Flagler, white numbers, black outline, no names on the back. In-swinging ball from the far side, but it's the goaltender, Phoebe Carpenter, who comes out off her line to make the catch. Some contact on the play, so a foul called, and now a clearance coming up for Flagler.
It's been a rotating door, that starting goalie position for the Saints all season long, with Henley Grunst, Maddie Narducci. But it's been Carpenter down the stretch that has really won the number 1 job, an 8-11 save percentage, under a goal allowed per game. And it's impressive work for the freshman out of Lemedon, Connecticut, to enter a pretty strong Saints team and win the goalie job outright, especially as you look to postseason play. And she was put to work pretty early on the corner kick. The foul allowed her to rest a little bit easier after she wasn't able to claim the ball amidst a sea of attackers and defenders.
The Flagler Saints in the Peach Belt Conference will be on the road as well for playoff action. Flagler, as you mentioned, Taylor, a solid team. 5-3-2 in conference play. 8-6-3 overall for the Saints, with a date against Georgia College in the Peach Belt quarterfinal this coming Saturday. Here comes Flagler. Great move forward by Brooke Reinecker, but coming out of the net is Leah Duhan, and she scoops it off of Reinecker's foot, with Flagler's best chance of the day not amounting to anything. Scoreless draw through the first 5 minutes as the ball comes in for Tara McDonald. Deflected to a defender, and that'll bounce back to Phoebe Carpenter. And Flagler will now try to clear. And Coach Ashley Martin for Flagler said that his formation would look most like a 4-3-3, but it is going to morph at times depending on the play of the game and how open play goes. But two teams matching up against each other with the exact same formation is surprisingly rare in college soccer.
Yeah, and it is actually going to make sense, though, that both these teams run a 4-3-3, because it really feels across all levels of soccer. That feels like the standard plug-and-play for so many teams growing up for youth and other play. Used to be sort of that 4-4-2 idea of having a compact shape, 2 strikers, 2 midfielders, but it was sort of that revolution starting with the prime FC Barcelona and Real Madrid teams of the late 2000s and 2010s that really put 4-3-3 football on the map. And then throughout the late 2010s, Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola really revolutionized that for the Premier League too. And it's a system that works. It's very compact defensively, but good offensively too.
And some of the wingers that have come from those 4-3-3 teams, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mohamed Salah, all some of the greatest wingers to ever touch a soccer ball. And we see both these teams employing the 4-3-3 today. Erin Switalski said that she goes about picking her formations based on just the way the players play. And she says that these Spartan players are more suited to that 4-3-3, and it makes sense. Having Sydney Dennis in a midfield role allows her to get all over the field. And the wing play for Tampa has been great all season long.
Yeah, and I think a big thing as well is that even though, as a manager, you want to keep your main managerial style, you don't want to have the players adapt to your formation. You want a formation that can adapt to your players. And especially as a sport like college soccer, where there's so much roster turnabout, especially with the transfer portal and for players coming in from international teams, you're not having players staying with the program as long as they would in a professional sense, where they can kind of it'll be easier for them to adjust to a tactical system that you can build over years. You kind of have to keep things fresh. For instance, you have a star winger come up, well, you're going to need to find a way to get that person active instead of forcing them to try to fit into a system. If they don't like it, they might transfer out. And it's all about being adaptable as a coach, and I know throughout the years, Switalski has done a great job of that for the Spartans. But the benefit of the 4-3-3, it's very adaptable in its own sense. So usually, you can kind of keep that main system idea, but sometimes pivot some things around. For instance, you could kind of turn that into a 4-2-3-1, just drop another midfielder back or bring the defensive midfielder up.
And that's why we've seen teams like Flagler, Eckerd, many other teams across the Sunshine State Conference and Division II go with these kind of changing formations, but typically, at least I have found in the games that I've covered in the Sunshine State Conference, that many teams who start in a formation that is subject to change are teams that start in a 4-3-3. And Erin Switalski really has kept that 4-3-3 standard with great success in her tenure with the Spartans. Tampa will finish the regular season 7th in the Sunshine State Conference. Their conference record set at 3-4-3, 2 wins behind Rollins. So Rollins will take the 6th seed as Tampa gets a dispossession of Haley Stafford. And it's kicked out of bounds for a Flagler throw-in. So the Spartans 5-5-4, 2-3 record at home as they look to get their overall record above 500. Here comes Flagler now. They're at the middle of the pitch with Ella Gambicki in control. That one's taken away by Nava. She's had a great match so far, and now Kittner will run it up. She'll take it down the right wing and pass it forward. Now Tara McDonald, the out-and-out striker, gets it backwards. Allie Wold, the creator in the midfield. Her pass is intercepted. Gambicki with a steal, and heavy numbers forward for Flagler. Great pass down the line, a through ball from Gambicki, one-on-one with the goalie, and a great stop by Leah Duhan. Leah Duhan coming off her line and kicking that ball away, and it doesn't even look like she might not have gotten a foot on it. That one might have just missed. So it looked like it was Carrie Consolino who took the shot, but a bad miss on a 4-on-1 fast break from Flagler.
That is a painful miss, one-on-one, great counterattack, but just can't put the finishing touch on the ball, just wide of the net.
So Tampa will get the break, and once again a pass jumped by the Saints. This one coming from the defense. That's Hannah Hughes coming from the back line to make the interception. Couple of passes in a row stolen away by Tampa, and this one cleared down towards Flagler's goal.
The Saints are entering on a good run of form. They actually recently faced Barry, who is going to be 8th for conference tournament play. Their 7 draws in the conference regular season are enough to bring them to the playoffs, despite just 1 win all regular season long in the conference. But notably, they beat them 2-0. They also faced Georgia Southwest and beat them 1-0, and then defeated Albany State 8-0 in their previous 3 fixtures. So compared to no goals scored and 1 goal conceded for the Spartans in their last 3, Flagler haven't conceded any, but they've scored 11.
And it's funny you mention that because it has been kind of similarly organized, these matches between these two teams. There's only been one match between Flagler and Tampa since 1999 when the series started, where both teams came away with a goal scored, and that was back in September of 2022 when Flagler beat the Spartans 2-1 at Flagler College. Tampa has lost each of the last three matches after winning each of the first three by a combined 14-0 margin. And in the last three matches against Tampa, dating back to 2017, Flagler has won all three games, outscoring the Spartans 5-1. So in 6 games of this matchup, we have seen 5 shutout wins, 3 of those shutout wins coming from Tampa.
You definitely would assume that whoever takes the win tonight would win via shutout, and that's why pregame I was thinking that it would probably end 0-0. Even with Tampa trying to get more aggressive on the attack, I have a feeling we could be in for a clean sheet. But that defensive kind of style of play isn't necessarily a bad thing for the postseason because you force the game to extra time, you force the game to penalties. The Spartans, if they can force that 50-50 penalty shootout with a great goalie like Doohan in the net for that one-on-one chance, I think Tampa would feel pretty good about their chances of potentially providing some tournament upsets.
And let's not forget, these are two teams that are already locked into their conference tournament. So neither team is going to want to try for too much and risk an injury or anything. But you can tell that they're treating this game like a playoff match. Very calculated passing by both teams. Flagler's just had a couple chances to jump forward. That one ended up in the Spartans' 18-yard box before it was cleared. Lauren Holshower knocking that away, but the ball's still with Flagler. Pass towards the far side for Haley Stafford. Leaves it for Gambicki. Sends in a beautiful cross. Doohan anticipates the pass and makes the interception. And now the ball will go the other way. Great anticipation from Leah Doohan, the junior goaltender from Marvin Ridge High School in North Carolina. Now Tampa's starting to draw the rush. Tara McDonald bringing it inward, has it knocked away. Taken off the sideline by Haley Stafford. And now sent forward to Lambert. Michaela Lambert passes it across the midfield line to Consolino, coming in well deep for a striker. Almost switching with the midfielder, Paige Churchill. Now one crossed in towards the middle. Rough first touch by Lambert, but she pops up the pass that's knocked away by Holshower. Right back to Flagler, though. Stafford making a move, trying to cut inside the 18 box, in and out of the middle. Low cross from the side. Diving is Doohan, and she makes the stop with another Flagler striker on her heels. Leah Doohan with exceptional hand-eye coordination to make that save.
I really do like the attack from the side, though, by Stafford. She's going up against Nava, who's been playing wingback throughout most of the season. She is listed as a forward on the roster, so you imagine she's definitely a player that thrived on the wings at high school. It's kind of converted to a more defensive role. She's done a good job on defense all season long, but it's also clear that the sophomore, isn't going to be like an S-tier defender. She's not going to be able to come up with every single play. If you can bait out a bad tackle like Stafford just did, you can try to open some space. But Doohan had enough time to be able to get to that cross and deny what could have been an 8th goal for Churchill. That range, that's pretty much a tap-in.
And Doohan has been the starter for Tampa for most matches in goal so far this season.
I think she might have had an injury, or there was something that took her out mid-season. It gave Kaya Scarbo a debut. Some very eventful games against some of the best teams in the conference. Recorded 6+ saves in each of them, but also got handed 2 losing decisions.
Doohan making her 13th start of the season. She missed 2 games where Scarpo started, as Taylor mentioned. But Leah Doohan has been the woman in between the goalposts for the majority of the season for Aaron Switalski's squad. Flagler playing it back with their defense. Controlling it is Ariana Silver, redshirt junior from DePaul Catholic High School. a very solid athletic high school in New Jersey. As Tampa gets the ball back from Flagler, Brooke Kipner gets it to Holshower, who crosses the middle of the park to Tara McDonald, pops up the first touch, goes to Gambicki. Gambicki with a nice move around Kittner. She'll get it in the center. Now bats it back towards her defenders. Fight for it, and out of bounds. Throw in for Flagler. With just about 20 minutes to lapse in this first half. Still no goals just yet. 3 combined shots. One of them from Tampa was on goal. The Saints with just 1 shot, but 1 save. Good defense there by Nava, sending in a lofted through ball towards the middle of the field. And now Flagler will recycle with their defense as Grace Simon's pass is knocked back to Simon. Taken by Ariana Silva. That pass threaded through, and an opening for Churchill. She's got one defender on her. She shoots and scores. Paige Churchill to the left side of the net. Knocks one off her chest and into the corner. And Flagler takes the lead with the opening goal in the 27th minute. It is Paige Churchill, the Florida native, with the assist from Presley Anchetta, 2 members of Flagler's junior class. And it's 1-0 Saints.
The Saints have to be happy that Churchill is not a graduating senior. What a season she has had. That's her 9th goal and 19th point of the season, her 10th goal contribution. And it's a very useful one for the Saints to try to keep their win streak going and make it 12 goals to none conceded in their last 4 games, although we are only about 15 minutes through this one. Actually, 20 minutes through this one.
Still time for Tampa to score, but they're going to need that goalless streak to end if they want to finish the regular season on a high note. Now down 1-0, courtesy of Paige Churchill.
One thing I noticed early on from the Saints, if they do have a chance at another kickoff, because Tampa would need to score to force it, they kind of copy that PSG tactic that Luis Enrique likes to use for his side, where instead of trying to bring it back and start an attack, they launch it, but not even having players chase it. They kick it out of bounds deep down the line to immediately put pressure on their opponent's defensive line, which is a strategy that PSG likes to do throughout League One and Champions League play.
And with defenders on that PSG team, they've got a lot of bombers in terms of long passes. And we've already seen a couple of that, including the pass from Presley Anchetta. But a great touch, turn and shot from Churchill. Got the first goal.
And Churchill could kind of be that team's Dembele, who just won the Ballon d'Or a little bit earlier this year after he won the Champions League.
You would have thought Ousmane Dembele would have a Ballon d'Or to his name by the end of his career. When he came on Barcelona, I certainly did not.
Yeah, I mean, he was such a hyped prospect throughout Borussia Dortmund, came to Barcelona, and yeah, safe to say he didn't do so good, but a move to PSG, and Luis Enrique was really able to get the best out of him, and now he's kind of the face of a team that is just incredible. I mean, it's funny as well, PSG lost one of their best players they've had in Kylian Mbappe, and then they won the Champions League without him. Yeah. Reminds me of Bryce Harper when he left the Nationals, and then they won right without him.
As a Real Madrid fan and a Phillies employee, that was really mean. But no, it makes sense, and I think Dembele's lack of success at Barcelona was partly due to the fact that he wasn't able to play his natural position. Dembele usually a right wing, but this guy named Lionel Messi was playing there with Dembele at Barcelona, and he was not about to give up that starting spot. That pass coming in, nice ball from Consolino. Churchill again sends one towards the center, but it goes across the goal mouth. Another close call for Flagler. They have really ramped up the pressure since scoring, but now here comes Tampa. One of the first subs of the match, and Kaylee Gibson is in, chasing after that one, and runs after it out of bounds. Kaylee Gibson is the first sub off the bench again for Tampa. And though she wasn't a part of any goal involvements against St. Leo, she did provide a lot of energy in that midfield coming off the bench in these last games on Saturday.
Yeah, I think Gibson's development as a freshman has been very promising for Coach Switalski, and with Tampa kind of needing a bit of an attacking push early, I'm not surprised that they make the early swap to give her some action with a little over halfway to go in the first half.
And about 24 minutes to go in the first half. 1-0 lead for Flagler, thanks to a Paige Churchill goal. Each team with one shot on goal out of 2 shots in total, as the Spartans will make another substitution. Jess Brannon, the starting left back for Tampa, will exit for the Spartans. And now entering for Tampa, Callie Nobles, the sophomore transfer out of Point Loma Nazarene University, a school that was part of one of my personal favorite stories in Major League Baseball this year, because another Point Loma Nazarene alumni, Otto Kemp, made it to the major leagues with the Philadelphia Phillies, a rarity, seeing an undrafted free agent out of Division II going to the major leagues.
Always love it, though, when D2 athletes get a chance to shine at the next level. And, you take a look at the Spartans, and they've had a few players who have recently been able to do that, too. Jordan Leisure, who's actually become a high-leveraged bullpen arm for the Chicago White Sox. And Anthony Nunez, who was recently traded for Cedric Mullins at the deadline.
Obviously, baseball, a big talking point of the Sunshine State Conference. Now, here comes Flagler. Churchill quickly flicks one over to Mackenzie Flynn, and that one is knocked out of... No, it's an offsides. Flag has gone up. It looks like Mackenzie Flynn, first year out of Manteo High School in California, is going to give the free kick to the Saints.
Yeah, all I got to say there is a sigh of relief for Nava, because that was a penalty clear as day if it wasn't for the offsides call. Just mistimed her challenge. Great move by the attacker to keep the ball away. That would have had a chance for the Saints to easily go up 2-0, but a little bit too far forward on that play by the attacker, so Tampa instead gets a goal kick, free kick situation.
And it has been Flagler in complete control for most of this first half. Tampa playing on their heels, and I estimate Flagler has at least 65% of possession time. They're going to get a corner kick. Looks like Gambicki will head towards the far corner flag. Second corner ball of the game. Tampa has one. This is the first for the Flagler Saints.
I could see a little bit of disappointment. I think that was Holschauer, who couldn't get a clean clearance as it bounced off for a corner. But, there's always a saying, when in doubt, clear it out if you're a defender. So at least she got it away from goal. And Tampa does have height to defend corners relatively well. Both Holschauer and Gunnar are 5'8".
Left-footed Gambicki sends in the in-swinger. Center of the box, headed away, but it's out of bounds. And that will likely be a goal kick for Leah Duhan.
It went to one of the Saints players, and I don't think there was any stopping it from Duhan if it went to the far post. Went a little bit further, though.
Duhan running off of her line with heavy Flagler pressure, and she gets the clearance. Spartans taking a sprint down the far side. It's Tara McDonald going after it. Slide tackle from Flagler. Hand is up. Not sure if that is going to be a foul against the Flagler captain, Ariana Silva, or if that is just going to be a Spartans throw, and it looks like the latter. So Tampa throwing a couple feet in front of the corner flag, right outside the 18-yard box. McDonald's touch is dispossessed, and now here comes Churchill with Flagler. She's got some space, but some Spartan numbers back. Churchill finds some space, but kicks it too far forward, and Tampa takes it away. Looked like Sydney Dennis on the steal. And now Dennis gets it back to her defense. There's Lauren Holschauer coming off her line to make that clearance. Now here come the Spartans. Threaded through ball, getting off the foot of Brielle Johnston, as that one's cleared away by the Flagler defense. Back header to Dennis, who lobs it forward. And now some pinball heading around midfield. Johnston has it taken away, but Tampa gets it right back. Gibson sends it forward. That one's poked away and out of bounds in front of Mimi Cronquist. She did not touch the ball. It was off Gambicki. So up comes Nava to throw it in at the center line. 20 minutes remaining in this first half. 1-0 in favor of Flagler, who will get the possession off the throw-in. Ball sent forward to Consolino, but it goes away from her over to Holschauer. Holschauer's pass is batted down. Flagler trying to run forward. Churchill making some contact, but a great defensive play by the Tampa Spartans defender. I believe that was Callie Nobles at the left back spot. Now Tampa running it in, down the left field wing, and fight in front of the corner flag. Tampa wins the battle. Gibson sends in the cross, headed away, still not completely out of danger yet. That one's chested down by Churchill, and now Flagler will run it the other way in control of possession. But Spartans starting to find some space behind that Flagler back line. This one sent forward. Nice looking pass from Churchill. Great closing speed by Navas, and Lauren Holschauer just taking it off the touchline and keeping it in bounds. Tara McDonald now in control, coming back to control the ball. That one sent down the wing. Great ball for Cronquist. Cronquist cutting in towards the 18-yard box. Sends in the low cross. Tips off a Tampa foot and can't find an equalizer, but the Spartans maintain possession. That was a perfectly threaded pass by Mimi Cronquist, but there was no Spartan on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that play, Priel Johnston, what a run. Completely dominated that right side. Actually, it might have been Cronquist. I think I originally thought it was number 11. But there was one player in the box who I think just missed time to kick. Tampa is going to be able to get a decent throw-in, or maybe a corner kick, it looks like right here. Yes, actually, It is the latter. Their second corner of the game. We just got to go, man, what if Tampa got on the end of that cross? Could have been a huge equalizer and ending what has almost been a month-long goal drought.
It'll be just under a month by game one of the playoffs. Spartans will face their crosstown rival Eckerd this coming Monday, the 10th. In-swinging ball from the far side, right off a red jersey. But it still goes to Tampa. Callie Nobles tries to thread it through. She can't. Onsides not mattered as Flagler had Churchill going forward, but she slipped running after the ball. Now it's back with Tampa. Nice move by Nava to shake her defender. Still a one-on-one mashup, and it is Gambicki who will take the ball off of Nava, knock it out of bounds for a Spartans throw it. Throw in for Tampa. It's just off the edge of the box, knocked out of bounds by the Spartans, and they give it away. 16 minutes to go in the first half. Paige Churchill with the only shot that has found the net. One of two shots on goal. Each team with one shot on goal. And one save for the Flagler netminder and Phoebe Carpenter. Saints with possession, but Tampa will take it away. Sydney Dennis gets it in the middle of the field and promptly packs it past to her defense. Callie Nobles rushed by Bella Faherty, and now here come the Saints, but Holschauer coolly moves over to the left side and clears that out of bounds.
3 changes for the Saints. They're going to get some fresh sets of legs on the field. Keep in mind that once you get substituted in the first half, you got to take a breather until the second. It looks like Paige Churchill will be among the ones who are leaving. Do see out of St. John's Avery Raimondo entering the game. She was previously at the University of North Florida.
Anastasia Whitehouse, Avery Raimondo, and Riley Wills, the 3 new Flagler entrants to the game, with the Saints leading 1-0. And the goal scorer, Paige Churchill, a Tallahassee native, among the substitutes off for the Saints. They lead it 1-0 inside the 31st minute as Gambicki sends it backwards to the captain, Ariana Silva. A redshirt junior wearing a yellow and black striped armband, denoting the Flagler captain. Good defense by Tampa to regain possession. They send a long ball forward to the goalie off her line, but it eludes the legs of the Spartans winger Cronquist. And now Flagler gets it in control. Nice run from Gambicki over, and a quick 1-2 with Gambicki and Flynn has her in the open field. Low cross. No one on the end of it. And that one very similar to that last Tampa chance, but Flagler still not done. Michaela Lambert sending it in. Little touch pass back, Shot faked by Raimundo, and it's finally cleared by the Spartans. Good job there from Tampa. Cronquist wide open on the right wing. Ball goes to McDonald instead. Gaining is the Flagler defense with Grace Simon, who gets it there just in time to kick it away from McDonald. Throw in for Tampa.
Yeah, here come the Spartans.
And you can tell that last goal chance on a inch-perfect pass from Mimi Cronquist, that really fired up this Tampa attack.
Yeah, as it ought to, I think, in this stage of the game. You know, you're looking at about 13 minutes to go until halftime. What you really want here if you're Tampa is to not only just build some more momentum, you want to get that equalizing goal, because if you can take momentum into halftime, that can really set you up for a strong second half. It can definitely be a little more daunting when you look at a losing scoreline entering halftime than a winning scoreline. And granted, Tampa's defense is doing a really good job this game, but, you know, I think Tampa would hate for them to be in the loss column again after just one really nice attack from Churchill got on the board. And whether they score in the second half or if they can get one late here in the first, that's going to be what Tampa's looking for. And it all starts just by kind of building momentum and getting some decent plays, even if the final touch isn't there just yet.
And the defenders, especially the center for the Spartans, Gooner and Holschauer, have been outstanding.
Yeah, they've been incredible all season long, and, you know, really no difference tonight. They've already had some big clearances.
Sydney Dennis getting the defense, forces a poor pass. Callie Noble's on the interception. She'll get it forward. Little quick 1-2 to McDonald going for it, but that crosses the midfield line out of bounds for a Flagler throw-in. 1-0 Flagler lead, just over 10 minutes to go in the first half, and the Saints throwing it in just in front of the midfield. Tampa takes a deflection, and they'll cross the midfield line before it's kicked back. Now, Kaylee Gibson sending a ball forward to Cronquist, who's made some great plays off the wing, but so has Gembicki. The left back for the Saints has dominated that left wing and is a big reason why Flagler is currently out ahead. She just takes the ball away from Mimi Cronquist and sends it forward. That one headed back. Now Sydney Dennis on the interception. Cronquist to her right. Dennis taking it herself. Tries to pass around Gembicki. That's actually Allie Wold who gets it back off of Gembicki, and the ball goes to the goalie, who will clear it out of bounds. Ball all the way up to Mackenzie Flynn. Gembicki tries to clear it. It's taken away by Wold. Stretches out her leg, but can't keep it from going out of bounds. Throw in for Flagler.
Tampa's putting some pressure, and they're going to win the ball back. Just a little too aggressive, though, from Nava. I imagine the ref will give a little warning to Nava at the end of the play. She gave a pretty big kick that hit into Riley Wills, the freshman who recently entered the game for the Saints. But I do like the physicality we're seeing from Nava here. You know, not afraid to get physical. Will lead to a couple of fouls like we just saw, but that's going to put pressure on the attackers and could lead to some nice tackles.
Still 1-0 Flagler as we get under 10 minutes. Paige Churchill off for the rest of the first half. She has the only goal on an assist from Presley Anchetta in the 21st minute. Back line for Tampa, trying to clear it out of there. Holschauer gets some motion on it, and Kaylee Gibson comes back to get it, threads her way through the midfield for Flagler, and now she's on a run. And down goes Gibson. That should be a card. And that is a clear-cut yellow card for Riley Wills. The first year out of Maryland gets the Metro card from the referee. And it's a free kick for Tampa.
That's the first career booking for Riley Wills. And, you know, you don't always see a lot of bookings for women's soccer. Usually the refs, they'll let the physical challenges go. And, you know, both these teams, they're going to put their bodies in the line. But you really don't see as much frustration on foul calls either usually, compared, I think, to the men's soccer team sometimes, funny enough, which is something I really like about the women's game. But in that case, yeah, it's a tactical foul, and you take the booking as the price you pay for it, but it does slow down the Spartans' attack.
Yeah, and I'm just angry as the free kick sails above the net. I'm just upset that I can no longer use MetroCard as a slang term for a yellow card. Because if you've been to New York in the past, year or so, it's, use a credit card as a MetroCard now. It's weird.
Do they have like an app, I'd assume? Or
there's an app, yeah, but
okay.
It's just like a tap-to-pay kind of thing now. It's so weird.
Yeah. It kind of works like a card, except it's now a digital card on your phone.
Yeah, but growing up in New York and reaching to my wallet for a useless Metro card was quite awkward when I got yelled at the subway.
They do still use student IDs for unlocking doors here on campus for cards.
Well,
I'll say
smart.
that.
That's smart.
For college.
Yeah.
I also remember when Disney would have them for Fast Pass, too.
Shot for Gibson, high arcing, patted away by Carpenter. And Phoebe Carpenter got closer than anticipated on a nice-looking shot from Kaylee Gibson, who has been outstanding off the bench for Tampa. Spartans will get their third corner of the day.
Yeah, what a save there by Carpenter. And, it's not the fastest shot that's hit towards her, but it's high and it's to the corner. And that could be a tough shot to get to. So she's able to elevate and parry it away. Great save.
A high swing ball sent in from Wold, tapped towards the net, picked away, bounced off a Spartan's head, sent away again. And Tampa, another close call off the corner. You got to think one of these set pieces is just going to fall in for the Spartans at some point.
God, that one had 6 or 7 rebounds right in front of the net, but eventually the Saints clear it away. That's a really good defensive stand. It did fall to a Spartan who had a little bit of space to the far post. I don't think she had enough power to really put a clean shot there, but, always dangerous when the ball's loose in front of the net like it was on that corner. Tampa would love to get another one of those chances. Maybe they'll get to the back of the net next time.
Still 1-0 in favor of the Saints, with the Spartans looking for their first goal. But once again, they're dispossessed by Mackenzie Flynn, listed as a forward, but she's playing in the back line and in the midfield, mainly for Flagler.
She presses like Vigo. Non-existent, bro.
Play on, says the referee, on a nice run from Bella Faherty. And the bouncing ball sent towards midfield, recovered by the Spartans. Wold dribbles it around the defense. Now dishes it to Brielle Johnston. Charging down the right wing is Johnson, but plenty of numbers back for Flagler. Spartans have not been able to find too much open space as Nava sends in a booming cross towards the middle, headed towards the net, but it misses wide for a goal kick. Great pass by Navas, but a mistimed header by, I believe, Tara McDonald goes wide right, and it's still 1-0.
God, what a header there. What a cross from the Spartans. That's a really good attack. It can be tough to get those headers on target, though, and Carpenter can take a sigh of relief as that one just misses. I'm pretty sure Johnston on the receiving end. Some really good attacks, though, brewing for Tampa late, and if they can't equalize, at least you'd like to continue doing that as the first half continues.
It hasn't been an equalizer yet, but the Spartans are certainly building toward it with two of their best chances of the game in the last 15 minutes, and maybe even two of the best chances of the game in the last 15 minutes. But neither of them have hit, and it's still 1-0. The difference is Flagler just got more open in front of the net, and their defense has just been in the right spots. We saw that in the St. Leo match as well. Just the positioning of the defense made it difficult for the Spartans to find enough space creatively in the open field to make something happen. As Callie Nobles is held on the run by senior midfielder Bella Faherty, and a foul called on the Saints for a Spartans free kick.
Yeah, another chance now for the Spartans to send it forward. Question will be if they get an advantageous touch or if the Saints can get an advantageous clearance on the play.
And it'll be Kendall Gooner on the free kick. with only Lauren Holschauer back with her. Gooner sends a booming kick towards the 18-yard box. Doubleheader by Flagler with 2 red jerseys on it. And the Saints will retain possession in the 41st minute. There is no stoppage time added, so at the 45-minute mark exactly, the first half will end. Flagler leading by 1 as Leah Duhan clears it. Great stop by Anastasia Whitehouse, sticking her leg to stop a pass from Duhan, but the response from Flagler is for naught. Shot goes wide for a goal kick. 1-0 the lead. Paige Churchill, the goal scorer, will be back in the second half. I don't see Presley Anchetta on the field, so I believe she'll be back in the second half as well. Anchetta got the primary assist. As the Spartans are looking for one of theirs. They just got cleared away. Holschauer kicks it up the pitch towards the left side. Sydney Dennis over to Haas, walked away. Jalen Haas has had quite a quiet first half for the Spartans as Phoebe Carpenter launches a kick into the air for the clearance. Stops just in front of midfield. And Sydney Dennis will try and dispossess Molly Kornblit. Taking control is Raimondo, University of North Florida transfer. In just about every sport, they're one of the Florida teams in a different conference that you see banging on the doors of the Spartans in competition for top seeds and championships. And that might be another yellow card. It's Gembicki who gets tangled up with Kaylee Gibson, and that will be a foul on Ella Gembicki. Second yellow card of the game issued against Flagler College. This one to Gembicki.
Big thing for Gembicki. She's one of the starters for the Saints compared to the previous yellow card, which came off of a substitution. So that player, easier to protect in terms of getting a red card because you don't want to have the second yellow. But for Gembicki, she's a starter, so you do have to be careful. If she goes into a rough challenge again, she could get sent off. But obviously, it would take a pretty egregious challenge to pick up that second yellow, or a very unlucky handball.
And it will be for unsportsmanlike or unsporting-like conduct. Second yellow card of the day, and also Gembicki has been maybe the best player on the pitch, certainly the best defender on the pitch for Flagler, working and starting a huge part of their attacks from that right side. Interesting to see what Coach Ashley Martin will do in the second half with now carded Ella Gembicki. Flagler takes it away. Here comes Mackenzie Flynn under 2 minutes to go in the half. Still a 1-0 lead for the Saints. Not for lack of trying by the Spartans as a pass is bombed down the field, but Kendall Gooner recovers. Heads it away. Spartans try to clear. Ball goes to Kornblit, so it's cleared away by Gooner. Out of bounds for a Flagler throw-in. Callie Nobles was there for the Spartans.
Just a little over a minute to win it. Any final goals potentially?
Cross set in off the touch, kicking Gooner in the face with the ball is Anastasia Whitehouse. And that is how you use your head if you're Kendall Gooner. That ball went right off her forehead, but Kendall Gooner just taking that one like an absolute champ. The referee is making sure that Gooner's okay, but Kendall Gooner just waving everything off. She doesn't want the trainer, but since it was a kick directly to the head, I believe that's who the ref, I think she's going to have to sub off.
Yeah, just for the final 62 seconds. It's kind of unfortunate because Gooner was doing just fine. She looked like she wanted to continue. So I don't know if Tampa have a player that'll quickly sub on or if Tampa will just be playing with 10 players for the final minute of the half. If you remember the Scott Sterling internet skits way back in the day, the guy who kept getting hit in the face playing volleyball and soccer, that was kind of similar to those plays. a direct shot to the face, but, Gunnar, very strong player, and that's also an important block because that is a dangerous one-on-one chance. Shot might have been over the bar potentially because Gunnar's one of the taller players too, so if it hits you in the head, it's probably on an arc that's going to go over the goal, but still, you'd rather get in front than take your chances. So good job by Gunnar, and obviously she'll be back for the second 45 minutes if she is forced to stay out of the game for halftime.
Well, they're not making a substitution just yet. A trainer is having a chat with Gunnar on the side, but as I say that, we now see a substitution for the Spartans. So it looks like Gunnar will miss the final minute. If she's okay, as she was telling the referees, I'd expect we'd see her for the second half, and it looks like Yazi Vargas is coming in for Gunnar as we reach 1 minute remaining in the first half. So a rare substitution for Kendall Gunnar. It is not Vargas, it's Grace Franklin, a Syracuse transfer in her graduate season.
It's only the 5th game of the season for Franklin, but only will get a guaranteed 40 more seconds on the field as the Saints will get the ball back.
And knowing Kendall Gunnar and how important she's been to the Spartans team, I would be shocked if she didn't come back for the second half. But at the same time, a ball to the head like that, even if she says she's fine, resting her for the rest of the game ahead of the postseason, might not be the worst idea. So we'll see what's up Aaron Switalski's sleeve as the first half comes to a close. Countdown beginning from 10 as the Spartans try to rush a last attack forward. Throw in is deflected out of bounds, and that should do it. That'll be the end of the first half. 1-0 the lead. A goal from Paige Churchill in the 61st minute, or the 21st minute, excuse me, made it 1-0 in favor of the Flagler Saints. The Tampa Spartans look for their first goal in a month in the final half of the regular season. For said final half of the regular season, Taylor Stolworthy will take over the play-by-play.
No, actually, let me check. We're about ready to go at Pepin Stadium. Second half of action about to begin. Taylor Storthy and Josh Sperber on the call for the final regular season game for Tampa Spartans soccer across both men's and women's play. We already mentioned the Spartans will be headed on the road against the Tritons on November 10th. Tampa is looking to build some momentum for that game. They haven't been successful early on, though. The Flagler Saints lead 1-0. It'll be the Spartans starting with possession for the second half. And they'll immediately lose possession. It's Avery Raimondo winning the ball back in the midfield. And the Saints can turn it around and go the other way. Here's Grace Simon with the ball out to the left-hand side. Cleared away from Tampa. Played all the way to their back line. And hastily sent to their goalie. Carpenter sends it away. She's picked up 2 saves in the early going. And is the reason that Tampa haven't gotten on the board just yet. Now played to the center of the park. Loose ball, but Tampa gets to it just in time. Clearance downfield, sent a pretty long way. But now the Saints will turn it around. They'll be inviting some Spartans pressure as Tampa has made a few changes for the second half. And they definitely are rotating more players than we're accustomed to seeing throughout some of these games. Especially since this is out of conference, a final chance kind of for players to maybe prove themselves to be worthy of substitutions and maybe making good appearances in the playoffs once they come around at the start of next week. Now down the line, here comes Flagler. They're getting a counterattack brewing. Gooner defending the left-hand side. Crossed into the box. Cleared away. Good defensive stop there. I think getting in front of that one was Reese Kelly. Now at the top of the box, now cleared away from the box. Good job by the Spartans as they'll head it out to the left. Still a loose ball, and it's going to be the Saints getting back on top of it. Hit towards goal. Easy scoop for Leah Doohan. It'll go the other direction. Hannah Hughes wanted a little more space to work, but got denied, and it'll be sent the other way.
And I'm quite happy to see Kendall Gooner back on the pitch, and frankly, it's what you expected. She seemed to protest going off the field despite the mandatory head check at the end of the first half, but you're certainly hoping that one of your best players and maybe your most important player on defense in Kendall Gooner would not be injured for the postseason, and barring something terrible, it seems like that is going to be okay.
Yeah, it looked like they were able to do a concussion check during halftime, and she passed with flying colors for sure. She got kicked in the head with a shot late in the period and had to miss the final 62 seconds of play. But she is back for the second half, although her defensive partner, Lauren Holschauer, I believe, is actually starting the half on the bench. So we'll have to wait and see, unless actually Holschauer is still on the field. There is a change on her side, however. I believe Ella Armis is now moving to the left back position. She'll be waiting on defense as that ball is hit her way. Takes a weird touch away from Hughes. And Callie Nobles, yes, not Armis, Callie Nobles able to make the play. Out off of Hughes, and it'll go the other direction.
Yeah, Nava's still in, but Jess Brannon exited the game early on. Didn't look like she was injured, but about halfway through the first half, Nobles came in to replace Jess Brannon, and she'll get an extended run at left back as she gets the start there for the second half.
The Spartans trying to clear it out of their half. They do hold on to possession, but the Saints are putting a lot of pressure on ball. McDonald gets dispossessed, but Tampa hold on to it. Nobles gets it away from the defense, but not cleanly enough. Picked up by Churchill. Bringing it into the box. Cross blocked. Churchill back on top of it. Played up top to Hughes, and that one sends skyward. Goal kick.
And that's good defense by Callie Nobles. She might not have the same kind of impact in terms of bringing the ball up from the back like Jess Brannon does, but her footwork defensively, her positioning, incredibly solid on that left side.
Now from the midfield, the Saints trying to bring it forward. Good control by Reinecker. And now she'll send a through ball. It's going to be harmlessly cleared away for the Spartans. The junior out of Verona, New Jersey, did a good job to catalyze there. Harboring that number 8 role almost for the offense in the game today. Kind of ironic. The team's number 9 is wearing the number 8. The team's number 8 is wearing the number 9. The ball's poked out of play, and it'll go back to the Spartans and they'll start to build some momentum 5 minutes through the second half. Looking on paper, both teams have been pretty close on most stats. 5 shots for the Spartans, 6 for the Saints, both of them with 2 on target. Each of their goalies have picked up a save, although Carpenter with 1 more save and 1 less goal conceded. Tampa's had the lion's share of corners, 3 of the 4 so far, and you imagine they'll try to get a few more later on. The attack continues. Big foul on the play. We'll see if it's yet another booking. We've seen 3 so far for the Saints. And no, it is not. It is just a warning and a free kick for you, Tampa. It'll be taken, though, by Holshower. It looks like they'll try to send a long ball into the box. Looking at that right side of the Spartans' side, you got a lot of players waiting. 1 player wall stands in the way. Obviously, Holshower not going for goal. Raimondo just kind of making sure she doesn't get any ideas of it. That one whipped in beautifully. Punched away. Loose ball. Saints trying to get to it. They will take it to the top of the box, and they can get it out of danger. Great defense there from the Saints. And Tampa playing defense. They'll send it back. Tampa now to their back line. But the Saints putting a lot of pressure. Duan will have to make an emergency clearance, but a very effective one at that. Almost finds McDonald. That one's now headed to McDonald. Played out wide. And a bit of space to work with Kaylee Gibson. Gibson plays a through ball, but the defense gets to it.
And it's interesting to see Flagler being this aggressive this late in the game. Obviously, they're in their playoff mentality. So the aggression is just kind of a holdover from that. But I wouldn't be surprised if I saw just a less aggressive attack as this half keeps building, just so Flagler can maybe save some of their legs for the postseason.
Tim now trying to get it through. There is a ball forwards. If Wold is offside, she is dangerous. No, she is just a little bit offside by about a step, but would have had a chance into the box. It'll be a free kick for the Saints. And indeed, Josh, I think the Flagler Saints, what they've really done here, they're getting aggressive, but they're focusing on the counterattack. They're not as possession-oriented at this stage of the game. They're trying to keep a more defensive shape, but when Tampa loses the ball, because they're going to get more aggressive as the game goes on, they're hoping to hit them when they're vulnerable. And we've already seen 1 or 2 opportunities early in the half to do that, and those chances could come a little more frequently as the half continues, but it'll come at the cost of Tampa being able to dictate the pace of play and getting more really good chances to try to equalize. All Tampa needs is 1 goal to break their drought and to level the score against a team who on paper has been a little bit stronger for the season. Interesting note for regional rankings in the South region, Tampa nor Flagler are listed in the top teams in their region. So they're not necessarily confirmed to be at-large bids if they don't make it through their conference tournament. So getting those wins is going to be important. Great move by Callie Noble. She'll send a long ball out wide, but there's no one there to receive it. That's going to roll out of play, and it will be a throw-in, it looks like, a very deep throw-in for the Saints, so they are going to have some trouble getting it out of danger, but that's an interesting note if you're thinking about the tournament and you're thinking about teams that could be in line for at-large bids. Both the Saints and Spartans not in the greatest spot in the world yet. They might have to get through the conference tournament. Easier said than done. The Saints look to be in a better spot for that for the moment, given that they currently sit 4th in conference standings and on a very good run of form to end the season. That is going to go behind. Looks like it'll be a corner kick for the Saints. Might have been last touched by a Spartan. It'll be the second corner for Flagler in the game.
A late rush in that first half really came from Tampa, and it looked like they had a couple chances to equalize, and they don't have time to be late bloomers in this second half. It's been all Flagler so far in the second half. The Spartans really need to flip the script and start getting aggressive with the ball at their feet.
So here comes across into the box. Tampa on the defense. That is headed to the side. Tampa going to try to send it downfield now. Good defense, but it'll stay with the Saints as it was last touched by a Spartan defender. Scramble for the ball outside the box. The Saints will hold on to it. Big pressure by Gibson, and she will be called for a foul. Great physicality on the other end by Consolino. to draw the foul and keep possession. Free kick for the Saints. And by the way, it actually isn't a guarantee that it's Eckerd who would play Tampa, because there is one more game that is currently live. Nova Southeastern and Embry-Riddle, first and fourth ranked teams in the conference, to close out the regular season. If the Eagles upset the Sharks, given their first loss of the year, Embry-Riddle would jump to second in the conference, as they have a win against Eckerd for their tiebreaker throughout the season. The Eagles are also undefeated throughout the regular season, although that is with 6 wins and 9 draws. At the moment, though, they trail the Sharks in the 56th minute. Nova Southeastern has already won the conference regular season championship with 21 points. Even a loss here would keep them in first place by a point over both the Tritons and Eagles, but they would like to add a point or even 3 to the tally, which they currently would as they hold on to a 1-0 lead. Saints trying to make it 2-0. They can't find the final touch in the box. Successful defense by the Spartans. They'll send it all the way back. It's going to be Grace Simon scooping it up, and will not send it to the captain, Silva, as Tampa will take it the other way. Not a clean clearance from Nobles. This one lifted forwards. Loose ball. Saints going to bring it out wide again. Here's Hannah Hughes. Hughes with a step. Crossed inside. Good clearance from Tampa. I think Holshower got a touch there. Ooh, physical challenge by Anchetta. She'll get the foul, and it's going to be a free kick for the Spartans. So if the Eagles do score 2 late goals against the Sharks, they will be the ones that Tampa has to face in the first round instead of the Tritons. Doesn't look like that will be the case, though. Although both teams do have a guaranteed home game to start tournament play.
It doesn't tell me though, like, yeah, I got you. Unless I keep track.
However, the Saints do have a guaranteed opponent for their conference tournament, Georgia College, for the quarterfinals. I know you had mentioned it earlier, Josh. They'll be traveling to the Bobcats' home field in Milledgeville this Saturday at 2 p.m. So they only have 3 days of rest here. That actually might force them to rotate more subs in this period if they want to keep their starters 100%. Tampa, meanwhile, have a longer rest period, so they can kind of keep their stars going. Trying to bring it down the line. Is that last touch by Saint? Yes, it is. But that's only going to go out for a throw-in as they do get it away from the out-of-bounds line by the goal.
And I'd be surprised if within the next 5 to 10 minutes you don't see a couple more subs from Tampa. They don't have their original starting lineup from the first half out here, but there are still players like Zoe Whitten who we haven't seen. And I'd certainly expect Erin Switalski to go deeper into her bench just to try and get an extra source of inspiration, not just for Tampa to try and put their first goal across the goal in a month, but also just to keep everyone fresh for the playoffs.
Since that goal, which was part of the senior night win against Florida Tech, Tampa has mustered 3 ties and 2 losses. The losses have come against high-ranked conference opponents. Eckerd with a 1-0 disappointing loss, and a 2-0 loss against the conference regular season champions in the Nova Southeastern Sharks. But they've only conceded 3 goals in the last 5 games, so a very solid defensive showing leading to the playoffs. Obviously, 1 goal conceded so far. They're hoping to keep it at 1 and to try to get on the scoreboard, too. Conversely, since their loss against Nova Southeastern back on October 15th, the Saints have only conceded 1 goal and have scored 14 in their last 5 games. So they are on a very hot run of form leading to the playoffs. And they would make it 15-1 should they close out this 6th game with a 1-0 scoreline, but they'd like to get a second. Trying to poke the ball free, unsuccessful. Good try from Paige Churchill. Noble sends that away. It's out of reach for Gibson. Pretty far out of reach after that bounce. Throw in for the Saints. Beautiful night, though, at Pepin Stadium. Not a cloud in the sky. At the very least, it's dark enough where you can't tell if there's a cloud in the sky. Trying to poke the ball by the box. There is a bit of room. Lofted and offline. Should be a goal kick. Good attempt there from Churchill, but won't be able to find the back of the net for the second time just yet. And it can be doing, sending it the other way.
And Churchill has just found these little pockets of space in the 18-yard box and even in the 6-yard box at times. And she's just been so dangerous, always in the right place to get the ball to her feet and try and make something happen.
Loose ball could be a chance. Nobles gets there just in time, though. That's a very nice touch, and she'll clear it away. Good job preventing the challenge from Hughes. If Hughes got the ball, there would have been a very dangerous spot for the Saints. Might have had a one-on-one chance brewing. Gibson sends it back. That is a costly pass, but it will fall to Nobles just in time. It'll be cleared to the halfway line. So a throw-in coming up now from Presley and Chetta. She'll play it in short to Hughes. Handball called as that one took a weird ricochet for the attacker. Consolino had a ball-to-hand incident, but the good news is no card. That's just an unfortunate accident there. Dennis turning on the ball. I think she's taken a step forward in the midfield for the second half. Started the game as Tampa's number 6. But obviously, the further up she can get, the more she'll be able to help with her attacking prowess, which she has really showcased throughout her entire Spartans career. She actually remains one of Tampa's top goal scorers in the season. 2 goals, 2 assists on the year. That is leading all Spartans players. Tampa's a team have scored 11 goals and now conceded 13. Almost 14. What a save by Doohan. That one right in front of the net. A very quick counterattack. A bit of a blink and you'll miss it type of play. Good save, though, for Doohan, her second of the game. 3rd shot on target, but not able to get by the Spartan veteran. 28 minutes and change remaining.
And really, just that one good-looking goal from Paige Churchill has been it. Aside from that, we've seen a great game in the net from Leah Doohan.
So it'll go the other way. The Saints will pick it up and send it back to goal. Doohan has recorded 6 shutouts on the season out of her 12 games she's appeared in. That is a 50% shutout rate. And while that number will slightly drop after today because she has conceded once, you know, that is just how strong she and the Spartans in defense has been all season long. It's just been the attacking foot that Tampa has occasionally lacked, especially as the season has progressed. But they say offense wins games, defense wins championships. Gibson trying to find space, holds on to it, gets the shot off, it's blocked. And Tampa again trying to open the door outside the box. Carrying a month-long goal drought into the conference tournament wouldn't be ideal. But only conceding 3 goals in that span, or 4 goals actually now, also isn't too bad either though. And it was a 1-0 loss against Eckerd that was part of that group. And as things stand, it would be the Tritons who the Tampa Spartans will end up facing. This game will end at about the same time as the one at Embry-Riddle between them and the Sharks, the final game of conference play this season for women's soccer. These 2 teams do have a game in hand, and the Sharks, with their game in hand, still comfortably in first place in the conference. What a season in conference play, though, for the Sharks. 6 wins and 3 ties. Unbeaten, just like the Eagles. Though for both teams, that streak might come to an end today. One of those teams will end up with a loss for the first time all season. Another clearance successful. It'll stay with you, Tampa. They'll have a throw-in pretty deep down the line. Both teams haven't made too many changes at this stage of the half. Grace Franklin off the field still for the Spartans. She came on for that final minute to replace Gunnar before Gunnar was cleared to return. And it'll go the other way now. Finally, the Saints, with a few changes as well, going to get some fresh legs. 4 substitutions, I think, actually being made.
And it's like you said, Taylor, these guys are playing playoff soccer in 3 days. And those extra 2 days that Tampa has, almost double the amount of time Flagler gets to prepare for their conference tournament, is being shown because early in the second half, Flagler, with certainly not an insurmountable lead, but in soccer a somewhat comfortable lead, especially the way the second half is going. The Saints starting the rest of their starters, getting some other players into the game, and making sure everyone's ready for the postseason.
Speaking of Grace Franklin, she actually re-entered the game. Now into the box. Tampa shot, blocked, corner coming. But I should actually note, I think Tampa did also make another swap alongside the changes for the Saints, with Franklin actually re-entering, so anti-commentator's curse. When I said that she had exited after a minute, well, she's been back on now for 2 minutes. As she'll get forward or stay outside the box, it looks like, for this corner kick. And yeah, it's her, Gunnar, and Holschauer kind of waiting at the edge of the box as Tampa will send this in. An in-swinging cross, falls behind everyone, and that one hits off the foot incorrectly. And actually kept in play for the Spartans. Flag stays down. That time a big clearance. Tampa does have numbers to reset their attack.
And I believe it was Sydney Dennis on the corner kick. She stayed in great position, didn't move back into the field in case of what exactly just happened. A big deflection going towards the sideline. Dennis was there to at least try and recycle the play.
Good cross from Faherty. It is blocked, and Tampa unable to get it out of danger just yet. It'll stay with the Saints. Faherty back on the ball. The senior cuts to the right. Cross inside, and that one hits off the side net. Goal kick. But yeah, really smart positioning there from Sydney Dennis after that corner. And crucially, she avoided being offsides to get another cross in. But this time it was the Saints able to get it out of danger and then immediately hit a counterattack, but they just came up short on the finishing product. Faherty trying to put some pressure on Franklin. She'll send it around. Tampa's already had senior night, but this is kind of a senior night game if you think about it. The final homestand of the regular season for the Spartans. And will probably be the final homestand period for Tampa unless they take on the 8th seed in the conference championship. Safe to say that's not super likely of an outcome. Now down the line. Another cross coming in from the Saints. Cleared away. Kept in play. Franklin sends it out. And Gibson's going to knock the ball into space. Two Saints players actually can't keep it. That cross deflects directly off of Faherty. Accidental friendly fire between teammates as that pass ricocheted hard off the number 2. She is all right, however. And this one sent into space. A foot race now. McDonald going to stay on top of it, but that's going to fall all the way back to the back line, and the Saints are going to clear it away. We'll see who settles under it after a couple touches. Handball issued. Free kick, Flagler. And we've got 23 minutes to go, about halfway through the second period of play. And only starting for the next game will you have to worry about additional time should things stay tied. And obviously, things aren't tied at the moment. The Saints have a chance to extend their lead off this free kick. They lead 1-0.
And you've just seen so much more Flagler attack, so much more time with Flagler holding the ball in Eckerd's defensive zone and Tampa's defensive zone, excuse me. It's just so rare in this second half, really, that we've seen Tampa expressly on the attack. That's how well Flagler has controlled the second half of this game.
So here come the Saints. They'll send it in. Ball at the edge of the box. Trying to find that ball in, and Tampa's going to intercept it and clear it away. Two defenders back for the Saints. Third one if you count the goalie, who's also going to help cycle the ball around. Phoebe Carpenter's 5'11". That's one of the taller goalies in the South region of Division II. That little extra height can be very useful for parrying things away and claiming corner kicks, like we've already seen so far. Carpenter gets it away from McDonald. The lone striker giving some pressure for the Spartans here. Can Tampa force a mistake? And yeah, that ball goes out of bounds, but they're going to say one off of Spartans, so it'll stay with the Saints. And they'll keep it down the line. 21 minutes to go in the game. From their left-hand side, some crisp, short passing. It's going to get dispossessed. Here comes a counterattack from the Spartans. Through ball, but there is a defender ready to get it. Grace Simon. Won't even have to worry about scooping it up. This one sent back to the goalie. Played over to the left back. The Saints sending it forwards. That one going kind of back to the defense again. And that one's going to be cleared away. It should be a Spartan throw-in coming up. Nope. Last touched by a Spartan, or there was a whistle blown earlier. Must have been from so far away that we couldn't hear it.
Your cage would just hit you in the face like every time. Well, like, you gotta be good. Yeah, that's time. What is that doing?
So actually a free kick pretty further down the field. So, might have been an off-ball foul there. And it's now going to give the Saints a chance to send it forwards. Long ball, edge of the box, headed away, but doesn't fall to Gibson. It's played out to the right. The Saints going to send it back up top, though. Cycling it will be Anchetta. Back to Anchetta. Whipped into the box. Headed up. Awkward deflection. Tampa not in the best spot to defend. And that time, a no-nonsense clearance will get the ball downfield. McDonald moving forward, but just out of range of the ball. Michaela Lambert's now going to send it down to the left-hand side. Knocked off ball, I think Nava with the good defensive stand there. And here comes Tampa. Blocked on the clearance attempt. Tampa does get a throw in. Tampa on the road this season, 3-2-4. Tampa at home, 2-3-0. They haven't had a draw, and they've had an under 500 record. Tampa's actually found most success on the road, so actually traveling from home isn't a bad outcome for the Spartans. Take a look at tournament play, especially when you think about their last road loss was all the way back on September 27th. And since then, they've had 1 win and 3 ties. So maybe taking on the Tritons at their home turf will be a good outcome for the Spartans. Franklin couldn't find the pass forward. This one gets past Franklin on the through ball, but takes an awkward touch off Faherty, and it's going to go out of bounds and will go the other way.
And a road warrior team like the Spartans really have been over the course of this season is always dangerous when it comes to the postseason. So I'm really excited to see what the Spartans team can do come playoff time.
Keep in mind those games will be on the SSC Digital Network, just not on Tampa Spartans TV. And they will be on November 10th. I imagine it'll probably be an evening game like this one, 7 or 6 p.m. start time. Sydney Dennis now playing a little bit further forward. Really good touch. Still send it out wide now to the 36 of Grace Franklin. Franklin dispossesses a few defenders. Tampa with some momentum. Tampa dancing across. And they will get a free kick. A little bit physical defense from the Saints will force a foul. And Tampa has a chance to send it forward. Will they play it short or will they actually launch it long? That's a big question. And it looks like they'll hand it over to Gooner. So here's Gooner with the ball into the box. Actually, that one's towards goal and picked up on the goal line. Good save by Carpenter. I think Gooner did want to find a teammate, but it curled right towards goal, and the 5'11 goalie does get on top of it. Now the Saints can send it the other way. We stay at a 1-0 scoreline. Faherty with some room on the right-hand side. Played through. Scooped up by Doohan. Not enough room for the attacker to get there, and he'll go the other direction. 17 minutes and under left in the game clock. And in 2 minutes, the clock will stop whenever the Saints make changes. So imagine that these players on the field probably going to be staying there unless something big happens or if Tampa want to make swaps too. You don't want the clock to stop. That's going to be the big thing.
But it's still surprising that we've gone past the halfway point of this second half, and it's still the same starting lineup in there for Flagler. Got to give a lot of credit to those starters with just their conditioning that has kept them on the field this long, this close to the postseason.
Yeah, you see Grace Simon, Ariana Silva, and those are the two that have gone the distance alongside the goalie. Plenty of others, 40 or 50-minute stints. And obviously some players that have been benched could be coming back on late game. We'll have to wait and see. Sydney Dennis can't get past her defender. Holding on to the ball, though. Good turn. Dennis brings it forward. Dennis with a great pass over to Gibson. Gibson played through. Is it onside? Defender gets back in time and will clear it away. A good chance from Gibson and Dennis. Just couldn't find that final pass into the box, and it will go the other direction.
And I'm not usually one to talk about changing formations mid-game, but this might be a time where Tampa considers that because they have to do something to combat this formation of Flagler, especially the defense. That back line has been in such great position each time that pretty much any time Tampa's been near the goal, Flagler's been able to deflect it away. So the Spartans might think about changing their tactics to try and poke some holes in a stingy Flagler defense.
So edge of the box for this Tampa throw-in coming up. They're going to try to find a way into the box. And again, the Saints, who have kind of shifted to more of a counterattacking focus, don't mind these situations as long as they can defend them. They'll have players ready to go on the counter should they clear the ball away. Loose ball, trying to find some room at the edge of the box. Top of the box, looking for some room. They'll play it back. Good turn. Tampa's going to send the ball forward. Long shot. Once again stopped. Carpenter able to stand tall in the net. If it was a smaller goalkeeper, maybe would have had to be parried over, or maybe jumping save. But being 5'11" has been a big benefit for Carpenter, who gets yet another save, even though that one, again, kind of right to, or not the world's most crazy save needed. Still an important one to keep the lead. Here come the Saints. Trying to go down the right-hand side. Gibson cut off the easy pass. They'll send the harder one up to Faherty. Faherty has some room on the right-hand side, looking for some room. Cuts to the inside. Good ball control to open some space. Here's the cross to the far post. And Tampa's going to let it fall. This one hit behind, trying to get another cross into the box. And with 14 minutes to go, Tampa will send it long. There is a substitute, I think, making a change here. They do have to quickly run. I am surprised. Yep, they did call for a stoppage of the clock at 13:55. And in the midfield, returning looks to be Riley Willis. Remember, she has a booking earlier in the game. She'll have to be careful on physical challenges. I don't know if a red card picked up here would translate to tournament play. I assume it probably would. I don't think these out-of-conference games are going to be treated as friendlies as this ball goes down to the left-hand side. Brilliant counterattack by the Saints. Played into the box and off the side netting. It'll be a goal kick. So, misplaced cross. Tampa can send it the other direction. Still a 1-0 scoreline here at Pepin Stadium. The final time we'll have a game here for the regular season. But Spartans sports in the fall will continue. Tampa will be back on their road trip from volleyball in 2 weeks before they will be the likely hosts of South Region volleyball action for the playoffs. And then, of course, basketball also right around the corner for Tampa as well. Jack and DeCarlo ready to bring you the action for our men's and women's teams as the season begins very soon. Always fun to see basketball back in action, and if you've been active kind of watching some things on social media, Faherty hits it to goal, easy save by doing. But if you've been keeping an eye out for some of the trends across college basketball on TikTok, you might know about the 1-point challenge that Brandon Dwyer has been doing for Florida Gulf Coast. That recently came to a close in one of the first games of the season for Florida Gulf Coast. In garbage time, he came on and hit 2 3-pointers. So congratulations to him. Counterattack trying to be brewed for the Spartans. Good ball control there by Gibson. Gibson slowing it down. We'll send it not back to Dennis, but back to Gooner. Tampa's first basketball game is going to be on November 5th. Hope to see you there at the Bob Martinez Center on Saturday. Southwest Minnesota State comes to town. Actually, no. Tampa's going to be on the road. But it is their first technical home game. The first one at the Bob will be on November 15th. They'll be taking on Kentucky State. There comes the Saints. Faherty with an awkward touch. She has a friend, though, running out wide. A bit of space now for Anchetta. Anchetta, low cross. Hit to the edge of the box for Faherty. Faherty gets dispossessed. Tampa can clear it away. The center back, also wearing the captain's armband, sends it forward. Grace Simon. Good touch by Simon. She'll send it to the middle of the park. Big physical challenge. Counterattack brewing for Tampa. It's hit to McDonald. McDonald threw out wide. It's a foot race for Allie Wold. She will be a few steps behind the defender. We'll send it back to the goalie. And Wold will watch, trying to cut off the short pass. That one played out to the right. Takes a heavy touch. McDonald almost wins the ball back. And the Saints going to try to work it around their back line as they try to find a hole. They try to find space in the Spartans' defense, bring it forwards. Saints down the line. Couple awkward touches. Here comes Flagler once more. Out wide, but that's right to Kaylee Gibson. More short passing. It's out to Sydney Dennis, who has now come forward on the attack. Dennis just waiting. We'll send it back to Wold. Wold back to the 36 of Franklin. Short pass to Dennis. And Dennis really not finding room to get through the defense. That's a good dribble to get some space. With a bit of a screen from Wold, Dennis will keep it moving forward. Played to McDonald, or pass a little too far off. And this one cleared away. And dangerous one-on-one chance. Faraday trying to win the race to the ball. Franklin shields her, and it's scooped up.
It was disgustingly fast, bro.
Faraday very disappointed that there was no foul called on Franklin there. Was physically keeping her away from the ball. I don't think she was too aggressive to call a foul, but she does have to be careful. If the referees are very whistle happy, that could have gotten called against her and would have been right at the edge of the box or even inside the box for penalty. Now Tampa going the other way. McDonald dropping as a false 9 to pick it up. They'll send it forward. Nope, it's going to be hit out to Allie Wold. That pass attempt offline. Wold sends it out wide and headed away by the center back for the Saints. Now hit into space, and the attacker, the forward, the number 8, waiting for Consolino, sending it back to a teammate. Faraday, the intended target. Dennis with the interception. McDonald can't turn it forward, though, as the pass was sent right back to her. Under 10 to go as playing is slowed down. An update from Nova Southeastern. It is a guarantee that Tampa will take on the Eckerd Tritons as the Sharks go up 2-0 against Embry-Riddle. That will end the regular season for the Sharks on 24 points in conference play. And they will end the unbeaten run for Embry-Riddle. Avery Raimondo exits for now. There's also a change for the Spartans with 9:06 to go. Throw in on the way from Presley and Chetta. Looks like re-entering the game is Brooke Reinecker, the junior, previously at Towson University. Bit of space to work for the Saints. They'll play it across, edge of the box. They don't have the final touch into the box, though, so they'll bring it back out. Blocked. Last touch by the Spartans. Throw in now for the Saints. They're not at the period of game that you would be expecting them to go super slow in terms of trying to waste time and bring it to the corner just yet. But that time period is going to come sooner rather than later. It'll stay with the Saints once again. It might be Mackenzie Flynn to take this throw in here. She's a freshman out of Outer Banks, North Carolina. Eight minutes to go in regulation. Cleared by the Spartans. Played forward from the midfield. The 1-2 combo wins the ball back for the Spartans. And here they go with a counterattack. Both players go down. Tampa's going to get the free kick benefit on the play. Good job by Kendall Gooner to draw the contact. And it'll be a Tampa Spartan free kick. Imagine they'll send it long. Both players went down hard, so no foul or no card issued on the play, which I think is the right call. I think Tampa was trying to send it into the left-hand side. They had actually a good attempt that went on goal in their previous free kick. It'll be Sydney Dennis to take, however. Again, very much too long for a shot attempt. Launched into the box. And it's another one that goes straight to the goalie. And now the Saints can send it the other way. They'll actually roll it out to the right-hand side. Faraday with a touch. Won't perform a 1-2 with her teammate. Wills actually is going to end up winning the 2v1 challenge as it's last touched by the Spartans. And now Wills can wait for a teammate to come down and take... Nope, they're going to say it actually hit off of her. Tampa can now take it the other way. Brooks sends it back to the center backs. Silva on the ball. She'll send it out to the left. The center back duo of Silva and Simon have done a good job right here. Counterattack brewing. A big run forwards. The Saints will play it out wide once again. Faherty. Faherty shot blocked. Corner kick coming for the Saints. Good job by Franklin to get in front of it. 6 minutes to go, and it'll be the third corner of the game for Flagler. Clock stopped at 6:09 as they make a substitution for the upcoming set piece.
It is a corner, right? 7 for 20.
A loss here would bring Dewan's regular season record to 5-4-4 in goal for the Spartans. To the far post. Can't clear it away. Shot barely deflected from the Spartans. Saints keep it on the ball, though. Low cross, deflected out of the box. Faherty gets to it. And her pass goes wayward. Goal kick Tampa. A couple of unlucky bounces there for the Saints. They almost had a one-on-one chance. A bit of chaos, but they can't deliver the dagger just yet. Tampa going to send it long. Just to try to clear the defense and get out of danger. Headed forwards, Franklin. Play to the middle of the park. Good turn. Playing it around. Through ball down to the left. Intercepted. And Faherty, who's in really good off the bench, might have the ball headed her way again. No, it's going to be sent to the middle and cleared away. It will be a Saints throw in under 5 minutes remaining in the game. 11 shots for Flagler, 8 for the Spartans, both with 4 on target. Both teams also level on fouls. Tampa's one more corner. Crucially, the Saints have one more save. Tampa gets it back after a few players collide. Through ball to McDonald offline. Tampa will get the throw in. Wold will either hand that over to Franklin or just take it herself. Wold down the line. McDonald's going to win the ball back. That's a very solid tackle by the striker. Although late in the game, Tampa's not giving her a lot of help. Not a lot of players are pushing forward. Just a few attackers, and the Saints able to sit back and absorb the pressure. Mimi Cronquist, recently re-entering, is going to cut across. That pass, great idea. Execution a little offline. Tampa is going to hold on to it, though, down the far side. Cut across. Crossed in again. Gibson headed. Offline. Didn't get close enough to goal. That one's going to be cleared away by Cronquist, and it's Faherty down the wing. 1-on-1. She'll send it down the line. Holshower sends that away. Great clearance. Throw in for the Saints. Big clearance on that counterattack by Holshower, and Faherty with another throw in. Definitely say that she's been the player of the second half. Presley and Shetta to resume. Sends it in close to Wills. Trying to find space. Hits off her teammate. Bit of friendly fire again. And a pretty noticeable push that time by Consolino. Free kick on the way. Tampa plays it to the middle of the park to Sydney Dennis. Dennis to try to start a brand new attack. She'll send this one through, headed up. And the Saints going to get back on top of the ball. Time and chances are running low for the Spartans. Down to the corner, out of play. Tampa get it back, but imagine the Saints won't want to let the Spartans have too much room to work with on their back line. Saints want to make it 5 clean sheets in their last 6 games and to jump to a 6-game undefeated streak. It would be a 4th straight win as well. 1 tie and 1 win starting that 6-game run. Now in the middle of the park, sent back. Played back again. Ball knocked forward. Here's Tampa. And pretty egregious foul. You imagine there will be a card. Clock stopped at 1:39. A pretty egregious challenge on the counterattack. Unsurprisingly, a yellow card to be issued to the captain, Ariana Silva, and a dangerous free kick spot for the Spartans. Still a ways from goal, but a little bit closer than some of their other attempts. And again, Tampa will be looking for someone to try to win a header at the far post. So, third booking of the game for the Saints. And that one, very egregious challenge on the counterattack.
He said yellow to red 11. What?
So, yellow to the number 11 for the Saints. It was very clearly a foul on Ariana Silva. She'll now try to defend this corner. Whipped into the box. It is punched away by the goalie. Falls over a defender. No whistle called. Tampa gets the throw in. 90 seconds remain. They'll stay on the counterattack. Could have been a dangerous chance in the box if Tampa got on the edge of the rebound with both the attacker and defender, or goalie and defender falling over. Gooner, however, can't get to the ball. Counterattack brewing for the Saints. Played through again down the wing. Churchill's not going to bring it to the corner. She'll keep this attack going. Churchill dispossessed outside the box. Tampa can clear it away, but it's going to go out of bounds with a minute to win it. They'll throw it in, scramble for the ball. Saints back on top of it. Hit all the way to the right side. No one guarding Faherty. Has room to work. Cross blocked. That's going to go behind for a corner, and things looking grim for the Spartans in terms of equalizing. As with 30 seconds to go, the Saints have to set up and put a ball into the box. It looks like they'll be able to close the door as Tampa, unless they immediately intercept it and have a one-on-one chance, are not going to have time for an equalizer. Played in. McDonald can't get to that ball outside the box. And with 10 seconds to go, the Saints send it long. Easy save for Doohan. But that'll put an end to the Spartans' regular season. The Saints make it 6 games unbeaten. 4 wins in a row. 5 clean sheets in that span. And they will enter the PBC Conference Tournament on a high note. A road win against the Spartans, who have now lost 4 straight against the Saints. Tampa will end the season in the loss column, but they do only concede 1 goal, and they will have more games to play once the tournament begins. A trip to Eckerd awaits, as the Road Warriors will try to end the month-long drought come November 10th, as Flagler comes to the Spartans' hometown and sends the home fans a little bit disappointed for the final game at Pepin Stadium this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not the best showing from Tampa in the final game of the season. You would have liked a goal, but really the loss, the lack of goal is, the big pick in the big picture, that's the problem. When you look at the little things that Tampa did well in this game, control the wings really well, did a good job in the middle of the park, move their players into different parts of the field, and rest some of their key players. You got to like the way Tampa played. It just unfortunately was not enough for a victory.
Tampa falls to 5-6-4 on the season. They're now under 500. Conversely, the Saints improved to 9-6-3 on the season. They are 500% games won and then 500% lost or tied. And they'll presumably be the favorites on their road trip. Tampa, on the other hand, will need to make some upset magic happen. Well, it's been a blast bringing you Tampa Spartans soccer all season long, unless a miracle happens and it's a Barry-Tampa Conference Championship. This will be the last you hear of Taylor Storley and Josh Sperber for you Tampa soccer here in the fall. But stay tuned for November 10th. The Tampa Spartans do have at least 1 more game to play on the road. And this weekend, the Saints will begin their conference tournament and trying to keep their magical run late season en route to the NCAA tournament as well. More Spartan sports are coming soon. We'll bid farewell from Pepin Stadium for the final time in 2025. I'm Taylor Sorley for Josh Sperber and everyone else who is part of the show in the regular season. Thanks for tuning in. Playoffs await for the Tampa Spartans. See you soon on the SSC Digital Network and Tampa Spartans TV. Final score, Saints 1, Spartans